TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom, Erev Tov, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, broadcast to you from Jerusalem. Turkey and Iran view Israel as the most severe threat to their respective countries. The Iranian proxy Hezbollah proclaims it will retaliate against Israel over the assassination of its chief of staff, Haytham Tabatabai. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun proclaims Christianity will prevail in Lebanon. Dror Or, whose remains were returned to Israel late last week, was laid to rest in the community of Be'eri, 785 days after he and his wife Yonat were brutally murdered by Palestinian terrorists on October 7th of 2023. Dozens of Israelis lined the streets of southern Israel as the coffin of Dror was making its way to the cemetery.
We came here to support the family of Dror Or and the kibbutz Re'im, kibbutz Be'eri, and all the community of Eshkol, being the last hostage of Eshkol community that is coming back, but we are still waiting for 2 more hostages to come back to Israel.
The Israeli Prime Minister's office spokeswoman, Shosh Bedrosian, recently addressed the circumstances in which the abhorrent Palestinian terror groups had murdered Dror and Yonat, turning their 3 children into orphans.
Dror Or was 48 years old. He was a father of 3 and a husband to Yonat, of blessed memory, from kibbutz Be'eri. Dror worked for many years at the Be'eri dairy and specialized in cheese making there. He even spent time in Italy to understand the craft of it. He was also a chef and a yoga teacher. On the morning of October 7th, the Or family took shelter in the safe room of their home, when terrorists soon after set the entire house on fire, causing Dror and Yonat and their children to evacuate through the window. Both Dror and Yonat split up and tried to escape, but were murdered by terrorists. Their 2 children, Noam and Alma, were kidnapped alive into Gaza. They were held there for 50 days until they were released in November of 2023. Dror's children were released from captivity to learn the horrors that their mother was murdered on October 7th and that their father was still a hostage in captivity. It was announced in May of 2024 that Dror, in fact, was murdered on the morning of October 7th by terrorists.
Today we mark 786 days since the Islamist Hamas and its terror affiliates in the Gaza Strip launched their abhorrent onslaught on the communities of southern Israel with the declared intention to commit genocide. The remains of 2 hostages that were murdered by Hamas remain in an undisclosed location in Gaza.
We still have 2 more hostages in captivity, 2 more hostages, a violation under the ceasefire, as Hamas and other terror factions inside of Gaza claim they can't find them. Palestinian terrorists took our people on October 7th, and you do not just lose people, you take captive. Prime Minister Netanyahu has made it clear, we will not rest until all of our hostages are back home.
Meanwhile, the IDF Nahal Brigade eliminated the commander and deputy commander of Rafah Eastern Battalion, among other senior figures of the Islamist Hamas terror group, who refused to surrender while enduring weeks in subterranean infrastructure within the Yellow Line, which is an area under Israeli control.
This is the weapon of First Sergeant Or Mizrahi, may he be of blessed memory, who fought bravely at the Lulam Post on October 7th with the Nahal Reconnaissance Unit, and today the Nahal Brigade attains closure. Eliminating Hamas East Rafah Battalion Commander Mohammed and Nahal Brigade returns Or Mizrahi's weapon after eliminating the Hamas Battalion Commander, Deputy Commander, Company Commander, and the son of Hamas leader Razi Hamed. This is what happens to those who mess with us. Either surrender or we eliminated them.
Turning to Tehran, where Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi hosted his Turkish counterpart Hakan Fidan, during the course of which the two held discussions on regional developments and common interests. Subsequently, during a joint press conference, Ankara's top diplomat proclaimed that Turkey and Iran see eye to eye when it comes to the greatest regional threat, namely Israel.
Türkiye, İran bölgenin iki güçlü ülkesi.
Turkey and Iran are the two strong countries of the region, and we took this opportunity to discuss regional issues. First and foremost, Palestine and Gaza, as well as Syria, Lebanon, Israel's expansionism, the ongoing nuclear negotiations, and the tension between Afghanistan and Pakistan. We discussed all of these issues. Like all the countries in the region, we also agree that Israel's regional expansionism is the #1 security threat to our region. Our goal is for the ceasefire in Gaza, which was achieved through great efforts, to continue and to move on to the next stage.
Ateşkesin devam etmesi ve bir sonraki aşamaya geçilmesi.
It is important to highlight that Iran has been working tirelessly to rehabilitate its military capabilities amid assessments that another round of hostilities will likely break out between the Islamic Republic and Israel. Separately, Iran has also been proactive in its determination to rehabilitate its regional proxies, to include Hezbollah in Lebanon. According to Israeli officials, Iran understands that Israel will have to act against Hezbollah after the deadline for the terror group's disarmament expires by year's end. Therefore, Tehran has been racing to arm its proxy, a development that may spark high-intensity conflict earlier than expected. Meanwhile, in Lebanon, Hezbollah Secretary General Naim Qassem proclaimed that his group reserves the right to retaliate against Israel for the elimination of its Chief of General Staff, Haytham Ali Tabatabai.
والموقف الذي أعلنه في مواجهة
And the stance that I declare in confronting the martyrdom of the martyr Sayyid Abu Ali Tabatabai, may Allah Almighty be pleased with him and his brothers. This is a blatant aggression and an outright crime. It is our right to respond. We will set the timing for that.
سنحدد التوقيت لذلك.
Amid unrelenting activities by the IDF to enforce the November 24 ceasefire with Hezbollah in Lebanon, targeting Iranian installations and personnel on a daily basis, Hezbollah's Secretary General called upon the Lebanese state to utilize its military against Israel in defense of his Iranian proxy militia.
If the aggression continues, the government that has taken a stand should prepare a plan for confrontation and make use of its army and its people with the various capabilities.
Meanwhile, ahead of Pope Leo XIV's visit to Lebanon, Naim Qassem cynically welcomed the visit of the head of the Catholic Church, voicing hope that the Pope would side with Hezbollah and Iran's so-called axis of resistance against Israel.
نحن نرحب بهذه الزيارة في هذه المرحلة.
We welcome this visit at this critical juncture, and Allah willing, the Supreme Pontiff will play a role in bringing about peace in Lebanon by securing its liberation, ending the Israeli aggression, and standing by it as he always does, and by the side of the oppressed.
كما عودنا وإلى جانب المستضعفين.
After arriving in Lebanon, Pope Leo XIV voiced hope that peace would prevail in Lebanon.
It is a great joy for me to meet with you and to visit this land where peace is much more than just a word. For here, peace is a desire and a vocation. It is a gift and a work in progress. Certainly, there are millions of Lebanese here and throughout the world who serve peace silently day after day. Yet you who have important institutional tasks within this nation are destined for a special beatitude if you can say that you have put the goal of peace.
Pope Leo went on to stress the importance for Christians to return to the Middle East, while amplifying the role in Lebanon as a former Christian state to serve as a beacon of hope.
Indeed, the Church is not only concerned about the dignity of those who move away from their own countries. She does not want anyone to be forced to leave their country. Moreover, the Church wants those who wish to return home to be able to do so safely. While human mobility represents an immense opportunity for encounter and mutual enrichment, it does not erase the special ties that unite each person to certain places to which they owe their identity in a very special way.
Lebanon's President Joseph Aoun responded to the Pope's call by proclaiming that Christianity will prevail in Lebanon.
صاحب القداسة أبلغوا العالم عنا.
Your Holiness, tell the world on our behalf that we will not die, we will not depart, we will not despair, and we will not surrender. We will remain here, breathing freedom, creating joy, mastering love, embracing innovation, chanting for modernity, and forging each day a fuller life. The presence of free Christianity in Lebanon is essential for its continuity and flourishing throughout our region. And today we affirm that the survival of this Lebanon, present now all around you, is a condition for the rise of peace, hope, and reconciliation among all the children of Abraham.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. I would like to also thank you if you are a supporter of TV7 Israel, which is exclusively donation-based. Your contributions help us produce our daily updates from here in Jerusalem. If you haven't yet supported TV7 Israel and would like to do so, you can donate via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Separately, I'd like to encourage you, pray for our persecuted brothers and sisters globally, as well as for the peace of Jerusalem and redemption of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hessen. Until our next update, Shalom from Jerusalem.